right.
The
Intro.
Love it. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, as they say. Between like, I'm just trying to think of what's happened in like the 6. Has it been 6 weeks or a month or?
Let's say a month or
I think
so.
a war has started and
wars,
the
bitch
convoy's
slaps, convoys over, bitch slaps, moon nights.
I remember that. I think that was like the one thing I had like, oh yeah, we got to talk about the Will Smith, but then everybody talked about Will Smith
ad nauseum. Yeah.
And then we don't talk about Will Smith, much like we don't talk about Bruno.
So, okay, I know everyone's talked about it, but I feel the one thing that I've been thinking about when it came to that slap was that, he was nominated for his role in King Richard, Selena,
Yep.
and what's her sister's name? Whatever
Venus.
her sister's Venus, thank you, their dad. And I wonder I almost wonder if he took that seriously, that joke, on purpose because of the award that he was being nominated for and the character that he was portraying, where
he did bring that up a lot, in his speech and like his apology. It's like, well, yeah, the man was a tough guy,
but like Will Smith, he's not a comedian like Chris Rock is, but he's an actor who at one point, whether you still think so or not, has a funny bone in him, and so he should know that was a joke. And it wasn't even like, maybe I'm walking a fine line here, but
no,
I don't think it was all that awful of a joke. There are far worse jokes.
People going off too. It's like, yes, I understand she has a condition, which has caused her to lose her hair, but genetics for some people also causes the hair loss. So it's not a debilitating disease. No, it's an unfortunate, I guess in some words, a cosmetic issue where it's happened. And again, his joke was not aimed at her. Like he even said, it was a G.I. Jane joke from like poking fun at a movie back in 96, 97.
Yeah, Demi Moore.
Almost 25 years ago. Like, come on.
As Ricky Gervais said, he's balding, so does that mean that he gets to drive up to the closest spot near the supermarket, and he's overweight?
Exactly.
So does he get to?
We got like, I'm thinning. Yeah. Does that mean I get my sticker?
Nope.
No.
You crazy? Yeah. So it's and him being banned for 10 years, like, what is that gonna do? Honestly. As they talked about it on the Weekend Update last week, and it's like, oh, so they're going to ban him from not being able to go to a 4-hour boring party, but he can still go to the after party.
Yeah,
exactly. Still be nominated.
Although he will not get the gift basket, which year was worth $140,000.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
What was in it? Do you know?
I know. I don't know this year, but I know in past years, like they give it like trips away.
And is this just to the winners, or is this for all of the nominees?
I think it's for the nominees and presenters. Basically, anybody who's involved with the show gets a gift basket. It's like
$140,000.
Yeah, and Boom. They say Hollywood is out of touch.
Yeah, just a little bit, eh?
Just a tad.
The most expensive item in this year's bag is a $50,000 3-night stay at the Chirin Castle in Scotland, which was inspired by Denzel Washington's Best Actor nomination for The Tragedy of Macbeth, which I didn't even know was a movie. So, and then there's other ones like 12,000, 25,000, 100, 10,000. It's a small batch tea gift set from the Oprah approved The Chai Box. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, as long as it's Oprah approved.
Sorry, one more. A $1,200 life coaching session with wellness expert Coyote Joseph. Laid out right on the top for Will Smith.
Yeah, just gonna say there's a couple. They threw a couple extra gift cards for him.
I guess so. When you think about it, if you're a small business and you have the opportunity to say that you were a part of that gift bag, whether that drives in a ton more revenue or not, if anything, it gives you some clout and a bit of brand power, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So chai tea, chai box, whatever it is, you make a killer maple syrup lollipop and you get it in there, then you're good to go.
Is it Oprah approved? Because I don't touch it otherwise.
I don't know. You get a chai box. You get a chai box.
Another thing that came up was that when we were off, was that the Maury Povich show is ending.
Oh, is it still on?
Finally, it's been still on. So I thought in honor of that, I have this fine clip that I'm going to play. So enjoy this 30 seconds.
When it comes to 8-month-old Brian, Kiari, you are not.
Oh man, you are not the fathers. That backflip was top form.
I was I don't remember the backflip, but I do remember many episodes of You Are the Father, You Are Not the Father. Good on him to find a niche though, right?
Yeah, like for a while there, it was a lot of out of control teens and like mom makeovers. I know what probably wouldn't land well in 2022 is the having like the women out and you guessing if she was born a man or she's an actual woman. And then he landed with the DNA tests.
And that was I think I want to say that when he started doing that, the DNA testing was somewhat new in terms of confirming.
I think
parenthood?
so. Yeah. Like it was not something that people like. I didn't know about it. I think probably until Maury Povich that was something people were doing. And yeah, he found it, and like that DNA center is probably so famous now.
We so it's ending after this season, or is it one more season?
No, this is it. Once this year's done, it's done.
Okay.
30 years. Good on him.
We also missed the Wheel of Fortune contestant missing the obvious answer 3 times in a row. Did you see that clip?
No, I don't recall that.
So there was
so many now of Wheel of Fortune.
It was a I forget what it was, but it was a saying.
Oh, is this the feather in your cap?
Yes, the feather in your cap, and then she said nap, lap, map.
Yeah, everything but.
And then the people around her, like the next person bankrupt or lost a turn or didn't get it, and then the other person didn't get it, came back to her, came back. So.
I'm starting to think now. I don't know if this is again, not to keep bringing up the pandemic, but if it's related to it, that we're finding because the travel was, minimal to none, that a lot of these contestants on these shows are just people who were in California who had nothing to do and aren't really familiar with the programs. So they go on, because I've seen a bunch of like Price is Rights in the past year where a lot of people don't know what the hell is going on.
And like they don't know how much a box of rice-a-roni.
Not even that. Costs. It's just like there was one where, so I think it's I can't remember what it's called, but you have to roll a dice. You get 5 die and you roll it, and if you get 5 cars, you win a car. But if you
I remember
land on like dollar amounts, whatever like the total is, you can keep that or roll again. The guy had 3 rolls. He rolled once. I think he got 3 of the 5 were cars, and then he had like $2,000. He had 2 more rolls left. He stopped. It's like, I'll take the $2,000. and then Drew had to explain to him, like, you can keep going.
Yeah.
You only need 2 more cars. And no, he's fine. Like, just let me remind you, you have 2 more rolls. You can roll again, get 2 cars, or you can get the money again. You still can roll. And he just, no, I'm done.
And you know what? The after-tax consideration of the $2,000 probably wouldn't cover his hotel room and the flight back home, or the gas nowadays for the drive home.
Yeah.
And the rental car fee. Like, it'd be like a wash. I broke even. I was on Price is Right.
Maybe he's just like, it's a not an electric vehicle, so it's going to cost me some pennies with actual gas. So
yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen Price is Right, though. I remember growing up, I used to love it, though. Plinko was my favorite. Absolutely loved that game.
Yeah, that's the thing about Plinko I've always found is everybody loves it, but the odds of you walking out with serious money is minimal. but everybody wants to play
Yeah.
blue.
That, and there was the one you'd punch. You'd punch
Punch a
through
bunch.
Is it punch a
Yeah.
bunch? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And you open it up and you can win, $1 or $10,000. It's awesome.
Punch a bunch is another clutch one too. But that one is all
Luck. It's
risk.
random. Yeah.
Yeah, it's random too, but it's like if you get a decent amount your first go and you have so many other punches that you could possibly get higher. Yeah, it's more risk than it is reward because more often than not, someone's will get a 2,000, try to see if they got the 5 or 10 and walk out with like $500.
So that's the thing, right? If I remember correctly, with that punch a bunch, you take one out from the hole, you reveal it, and you can either keep that or go for another one. But if you go for the other one, you got to basically replace it.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, Russian roulette game show style.
That's right, man. Oh, hey, we just call it roulette now.
Oh yeah, right. Whoa. Oh, we don't. Yeah,
don't go there. Oh no, I dropped my stylus.
Go there. Yeah. So yeah, there's been a lot that's happened.
Oh, and baseball. I was just saying.
Yes.
Baseball's back. You must be excited, and it's Jackie Robinson Day.
It is. Yeah, 1947. So what is that? 53, 22, 75 years ago today.
Yes, sir.
Ebbets Field, Brooklyn Dodgers. It's amazing. Yeah, baseball's great. Blue Jays are killing it. Astros are doing okay for my standards.
Still very early, right?
That's the thing about baseball. And it is a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. But Houston starts the season with a 9-game road trip, so that's I think it's always nice to play at home. So when they get home next week, they'll be able to maybe reset it. They're not below 500, but they're not as dominating as they once were. So, but yeah, I'm happy that baseball.
There's a team I think every year, right, that has the prolonged, unnecessary road trip at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm. But generally, you would think like I could see that being a Minnesota or Chicago or Boston, teams in like the northern part, northeastern part of the states. But for a team like Houston, I don't know why they would start so many games on the road. Maybe it's the longest road trip they have all season. I'm not sure, but I'm going to see them in Toronto at the end of the month. I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Check out the new was it scoreboard or video screens at Rogers Center? Terrible name for a baseball stadium, but that's another conversation for
another day. Yeah, they I'll be going at the end of the month, and then Jade and I are going we're taking the boys, obviously, in July for a few days in Toronto in the summer, and we're going to go catch the Cardinals when they're in town because it's Pujols' swan song of the season, so I want to hopefully see him before he retires.
Yeah, I was never big into baseball, but I've been to I've been to one, like the one everyone wants to go to, like a legendary, like you said, like swan song type thing. It was Expos, and it was when Gwynn got his 3,000th hit.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it was just a spur of the moment thing. My dad wanted to go with buddies, and I was with them that one. So we got there just in time. And then I did a trip to Cooperstown with my dad, and I was in 8th grade. And then we went to Sox and Mariners game that's when A-Rod and Griffey Jr. were on the team.
Man, so
that's like the extent of my baseball.
That's pretty good resume for someone who doesn't follow it as much as I do.
Watch it. I go watch the Jays.
Yeah. I want to go to Cooperstown. It's not that far from here, actually. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours.
It was closer than we thought. Like,
you could do it in a weekend.
Yeah, that's what it was. The weekend. Sure. It was a weekend to that. Drive there and then to Boston and then drive back.
Crazy.
My most favorite time in Boston was going to Cheers.
Is it is the pub legit like the show where you step down, like it's in the lower part?
That is the extent.
Okay.
It looks nothing like the show. It is so much smaller.
So not the same layout?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing.
No, not at all. But they have the restaurant on top, which is just like the show. And then there's another floor where it's it's like 90% memorabilia for the show now. Like it's more or less a tourist
almost like a
attraction.
museum.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I walked in and I was like, what the hell? Because you can come in and then the bar is right there. It's like an L shaped. And then it's like you go around the corner, there's like, pictures obviously with the cast and stuff. And then you work your way upstairs, there's the restaurant, you go up another floor and there's all the merch and stuff.
Like you're kind of hoping when you go in there to see, where Sam makes the drink or Norm sits or Clive sits and, like where the back office is. And you that's a bit of a blow, in my opinion, to go there and have it be a little bit of a letdown. Like, I guess I'll get the club sandwich. Thank you very much. But I was kind of hoping for something else.
And when you're a kid, that's even more. It's like finding out Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It
is. It's I haven't seen that show in its entirety. Jade has. Jade loves it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that many times through.
It holds up.
It's a long stick because it's 11 seasons.
Yeah.
But no, like it's much like if The Office would have ran through with Michael all the way, like from start to finish, you have a lot of like the quirky characters, but it's all seamless. It all blends in, right? Like Seinfeld, right? You have even like the worst episode still better than most shows.
Yep. That's how it becomes a timeless show, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, what are you watching these days?
Moon Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of. I tried Peacemaker one episode,
and
I don't overly care for John Cena.
Okay.
Like when I used to watch wrestling, I didn't care for him then, so it's just more of the same. I find much like Batista and Guardians as Drax. I find his acting just as wooden, so it's hard for me to. It's like to me, it's like Peacemaker so far is like a show based around Drax.
Yeah. Like
Drax is fine in the small batches, but when he got like, I didn't find him as good in the second Guardians. But yeah, I'll continue because there's only only 8 episodes, just to see how it goes. But I don't know if I'll make it to the end.
So
and also, swearing for the sake of swearing is not entertaining, I find.
No, it's like just throwing an F-bomb because you feel like you need to.
Yeah, it's like the scene in Logan when he's beating the shit out of the truck. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I know it's R-rated, but you can dial it back some.
I would agree with you on your assessment of John Cena. However, there is one movie where it was beyond hilarious. I found it absolutely hilarious, and Jade did too. And it was just a random Saturday night. We're like, let's put this movie on, and it turned out to be an amazing movie. It's called Vacation, and it's John Cena with.
Is that Netflix? Is it on Netflix?
It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And
there's a Hulu thing or something.
Yeah, and it's him and another comedian. What's the guy's name? Lil Rel Howery. John Cena. I know Lil Rel. Yeah. Yeah. And it's good. Like it's a lot funnier than you would think a John Cena movie is. Outside of that though, I found in the Suicide Squad that his acting was he tried a bit too hard in that movie in general. Like I felt that Suicide Squad, and it's James Gunn, so I can't blame him, but he was trying to rinse and repeat what Guardians was.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's if Guardians was R-rated and had gore.
And so I didn't really
Killer
get
Shark is Groot. He's got like the monosyllabic one-word sentences.
Yep. Moon Knight, though, what did you think? So far, anyway.
Well, I told you my biggest issue with the first episode was like the very Hugh Grant performance by Oscar Isaac. As
have you been able to get over it?
Oh yeah. Well, it's been less. It's been more Mark
It's also
Spector.
less, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying. I saw someone with some fan theories that maybe it's less. Marvel's doing less multiple personalities, and perhaps this is just like Moon Knight is its like own multiverse of variants. Like Steven is one variant, and Mark Spector is another variant, and they're just all encapsulated with Conchu.
Ah, that's interesting.
Like, oh, that could play a
And
certain way.
yeah, you know what, that could work because also, we live in times where sensitive
Hmm.
topics, you've got to really tread lightly on how you approach them, and disorders and whatnot,
Yeah.
mental health and all
Hmm.
this. Um, so maybe instead of just going down the path that Moon Knight is in the comics, to do it that way. That's an interesting theory.
But other than that, yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I like Ethan Hawke's like cult leader type
Yeah,
portrayal
Arthur Harrow.
villain.
I like it. The accent didn't bother me as much as it did you from the first season, but to your point, it is noticeably less. Um, for me, I think the only thing is that there are a few bumps in the road when it comes to there being like the scene being filmed in front of a CGI screen.
Hmm.
Um, it's a
Well,
bit
especially
it's
last
a bit,
episode
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's
with the stars and all that stuff. It almost looked like a boy band video.
well, yeah, it's a bit jarring, and then it takes me a moment or two to get back into it, and I'm fine. But then it just kind of displaces you for a little bit. Like
Hmm.
the one scene from episode 3 that really stands out for me for that is when he was when Mark was running on the roofs, and he ended up fighting those 3 guys with the knives on the rooftop before he switched into Steven. The
Yeah.
first time, like, it was like the green screen couldn't have been greener, and
Yeah.
it threw me off a little bit. But yeah, I think it's good. I feel that is it 6 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
so
at halfway.
we are where we should be with the Marvel TV show. We're kind of at the crescendo, and then we're gonna peak, and then the story's gonna come down, or the other way rather. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying my absolute best to avoid any more multiverse trailers. The Doctor Strange
Oh,
trailers.
so don't play this clip right here. No.
You could. I'll just like close my eyes, but no, I'm trying
Yeah,
my
yeah. It's
absolute
now
best.
that we're what 3 weeks I think 3 weeks away from it.
Yeah.
It's TV commercials and all that stuff's coming out more.
Have you bought tickets or planning to buy tickets?
I have not bought tickets yet. No, I'm
Okay.
usually a last minute
Yeah.
decide. It's like, let's go Sunday, and then Sunday rolls around. Tuesday probably better.
We'll have to get the interns to coordinate what day we go, because we should record right after we see it, or shortly thereafter,
Those
when things are
interns.
fresh
in your
heads,
mind. I am excited to see that it's not super long either. It's only about 2 hours, 6 minutes.
Yeah, see, I'm a bit on the fence with that, and on one hand, I feel, because it's going to be, that just tells me that all of these things that we want to see are going to be very fleeting. The Savage Land, or the Illuminati, or just everything is going to be quick, and it scares me that they're going to care more about just throwing shit in, so that they could say that it's in the movie, as opposed to really giving it the time that it deserves, like the Illuminati, or the different Earths and variants and whatnot. Like, you need to flush that out, and I feel like this is the movie to do that. So I'm a bit worried about that.
Considering there's 3 versions of Strange, or
2
versions, and one version becomes the third version,
and that's the thing too, right? Like, if it's going to be going like beat after beat after beat after beat, it might be hard to follow. Not necessarily, well, maybe it won't be that it's hard to follow along, but it just might not be as much of an enjoyable experience to follow the story along, because they're just trying to rush it through.
Yeah, you feel like it's going to be hitting the ground running, and then just keep running through until you get to the end.
Do you let me ask you, do you feel as though Marvel should start getting to the point where they are fleshing out what the next major villain or story is at this point? Like, we've now had Black Widow, we've had Eternals, we have Shang-Chi, we've had Spider-Man, we had the TV shows, so we're coming up to at least 10 new properties since Endgame. And I feel, see, and I don't want to be that spoiled fanboy, but
No, but like you.
I feel it's okay. Like, you've now had a chance to
Mhm.
level set things and introduce new characters, but now, okay, like what's the vision? Like, where's that
It's
where's
like,
that end scene?
someone's taking on a surprise road trip, but you've been in the car long enough. You want to know where you're going.
Yeah, like honestly, and like I think which movie was it? It was the Avengers, like the first Avengers, the
Yeah,
end
first
scene where you
Avengers.
see Thanos. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want, and that's all I want. I don't want. I'm not expecting like a 20-minute diatribe on what the story is. Just give me the 30-second clip. Give me that end scene.
Because after Endgame, it was Black Widow, which is a prequel, so you're not going to find anything out there. I think the only thing we really have gotten so far, because I think almost like Eternals started, it's I think what's supposed to take
November?
place. Yeah, that's been a storyline wise. It takes place, I think, before
Right.
No Way Home. So again, you're not getting anything from that. Well, they set up Thanos' brother,
Eros.
Which again is he going to be a big factor? Or is he just going to play into sequels?
I hope so. Yeah.
And then it's Blade tease too, right? Which we already knew it was coming. When he, again, like you said, he's not the big bad, but there's just the Shang-Chi. The one teaser is what there's a beacon coming from the rings.
Oh yeah,
that Hulk and Cap Marvel, or they determined that it's not.
And Wong.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like Earth technology. It's some alien technology, and it's got some beacon in it, and that's all we've gotten so far. And now everything's been the multiverse. Even the TV shows, WandaVision is just tied to her. Hawkeye is to wrap up his story. Loki's is set up Kang for the multiverse, but again, you're saying this is gonna set him up for the Ant-Man as the villain, but not the overarching. So I don't know.
So listen,
it can go any number of ways.
What if that beacon is a representation or a signal to like Silver Surfer or Galactus? Because generally a beacon is something that you follow to.
Yeah.
Or it's direction, right? Provides direction. Mm-hmm. Silver Surfer is, one of the heralds of Galactus to go and find Earths for Galactus to consume in order to stay nourished.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's it.
But then you have to wonder too, like how big do you go? Because ultimately their plan is to keep doing these movies without, rebooting, right? So how big do you want to go?
I mean,
they're bigger than Galactus.
I don't.
If we're also getting Secret Wars or Secret Invasion series coming up too.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing if it's anything like the book, but it can't be. I don't think it can be. Is there anything bigger than Galactus? I don't know that there is. I would say Thanos, Kang, Galactus are generally like the biggest threats in the universe.
Because you got big villains, but they're not big threats.
Well, I'd say they're big threats. No, would you?
Of like one that you're gonna need to have everybody team up, because you're gonna have the Sentinels for the mutants, but that's not an Earth destroying Thanos type. But Galactus,
Apocalypse, see Apocalypse even,
and they've done that, and especially if this movie's gonna basically retcon and bring everybody, and then they've already done all that.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is tough. Oh, I'm happy to watch it play out.
So they've kind of said that all the Disney series are basically one and done, with the exception of Loki. Does that bother you? Would you have preferred these to be movies instead then?
I guess it depends on what they mean by that. If Moon Knight is one and done for Moon Knight's show, but he appears in the Midnight Suns or Blade, or if he appears in other shows, then I'm okay with it. But the one and dones, Yeah, it bothers me. If the season was like 10 or 12 or 13 episodes, then maybe. But if you're only doing 6, I feel it can be very rushed.
Like I said,
And
Hawkeye was supposed to be a movie that they turned into a 6-episode series.
yeah, really, I didn't know that.
And then now we're going to get basically a continuation kind of the story, but of Echo and not Hawkeye, which is going to have, Fisk and probably have Daredevil show up in too.
I don't know how I feel like I about that. I'm good with the one and done with Hawkeye, but we've also seen him in 11 other movies, so it's fine. But Moon Knight, and that was one thing that I thought of when I forget if it was the first episode or the second episode, but it really just it hit me that I was 10 years old wanting nothing more than to see characters like Moon Knight and all these other characters on the big screen, and no one knew who they were. Like I didn't you had a small group of friends that knew who they were, but now it's happening, and it floored me. I was like, yeah, like fuck yeah, like as if we're getting to see Moon Knight on the big screen. So when I think about that, it's like, yeah, I don't want the one and done to end. I want there to be more. But if I'm being honest, Moon Knight doesn't have a rogues gallery that makes you look twice,
Yeah.
He struggles with that. So he's more of a supporting character, which is why I think he would be better off being part of a larger group, like perhaps a new Avengers team, So.
Yeah, I know, like the big thing everyone's talking about is like who's going to be the next big heroes to take over. But I'm thinking like we didn't start with Marvel's A-list, right? With Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Like they became A-list because that's all they had, and they did it right. Right? They didn't have the X-Men, they didn't have Fantastic Four, they didn't have Spider-Man. And now you're thinking, what's left? Because some of those, like they can use basically everybody but Spider-Man now for their own play. But then they kind of retired characters too. Like, do you think if they're going to continue an Iron Man with an Iron Man variant and not Robert Downey Jr.? Probably not.
Or Riri Williams, like Iron.
Yeah, like
Iron
I know
Heart.
they're going to do that, but is there going to be a big?
I don't know. Like,
that's going to be excited for Ironheart.
Because let's be honest here. Iron Man was not an A-list character when the movie came out in 2008. Like at best, he was a B-list character. At absolute best.
Yeah, I only knew Iron Man from the 2 episodes that he popped up in the '94 Spider-Man when they were dealing with Carnage and
yeah.
That was my introduction and only appearance of Iron Man.
And he did have his own cartoon for a little while on Saturday morning,
which we're watching now.
Yeah,
but it seems they really skimped on spending any money on that show.
Yeah, no. The intro is probably the best part of that show.
Yeah.
I would say Cap though was like I would say he was an A-list. I would say A-list.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Thor. Like I'm kind of on the fence with Thor because
Thor exists outside of comics.
Yeah, and you would think that Americans would be learned enough to know a little bit about mythology and Norse gods and whatnot, and Thor specifically. But who knows? But I think that with I've always said that they've set themselves up. Marvel did to enable them to switch out characters with the multiverse, and that was the only way they're going to do it. Like they need to keep this business model moving forward, and Captain America and Iron Man have to be a part of that. So whether they recast them, it's going to have to happen. Like they can't go. They got to replace some of the characters eventually, because then they're just going to get down to like Jack of Hearts as an A-list Avenger. And, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they're going to be like, who?
Yeah.
So they're going to get down to these. They're going to be scraping the barrel of the bucket at some point. Yeah. So they'll be using Tigra eventually.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to reorganize all my figures today. It was a fun job.
Like a MODOK.
Yeah.
I see that behind you.
Yeah,
I never watched
Marshall's
cartoon.
fine. Which
watched
cartoon? Oh,
the
Will
Modoc.
Patton, wasn't it? Or Patton Oswalt?
Patton Oswalt, yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't watched it. I was going to watch it, but I'm like,
It could be good. I haven't seen it, but it could be good. He's a funny guy, and he's
I know.
passionate about comics, right? So maybe he knows
He
the
is.
character.
I was looking forward to the Howard Duck animated series that they scrapped.
That would have been good. But
Yeah,
that's a no-go.
Yeah, Kevin Smith was behind that one.
And then he shifted his focus to He-Man instead.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. Like I used to watch that movie all the time, as bad as it is.
Which one? Dolph Lundgren one?
Yes.
It was great.
Sure.
I loved it.
No, I did too.
Because if you think about it, that movie,
it was like a fucking keyboard.
There wasn't the star. There was the star key, wasn't it?
Yes, star key, but it was basically like typing keys like on a.
Yeah, it was a synthesizer. But that was all we had growing up, man.
I know.
Like, you know,
and Frank Langella's Skeletor was awesome though. Like fucking scary, that guy.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the best you can do. Like all their money went into doing Skeletor.
Yeah, and hiring him to be in that movie because he probably cost a lot of money. I mean, relative. But
the costuming didn't cost much.
They did Eva Lynn. Eva Lynn was good. They did her justice. And then what was the Merman? Not Merman. Who's the guy with all the fur? The bad guy. It's driving me nuts.
It up.
Yeah, because it's always something man, right? Like I remember the amphibious evil dude was Merman, and then there was Man at Arms, Tila.
Yeah, that's who it was. Man at Arms.
No, that's his friend though. I'm talking about the bounty hunter that Skeletor sent with Evil Lynn to Earth.
Right.
So and it was like
Evil Lynn, Man at Arms. Looking it up. They have there's like no pictures of this.
Really?
My IMDb can only show so much. Let's just get a nice, pretty picture of Mr. Lundgren here.
Eastman.
No,
Beastman.
Beastman. There we go. Look at that.
Amazing. Amazing. He was He-Man though. He was.
Yeah, he has the power.
He was He-Man for sure. Dolph Lundgren. He was on an episode once of it was the like $1 Million Listing or some reality junk TV show that we stumbled across, and he was selling his home, and yeah. And that was it.
He's also like an extremely fucking smart man.
Oh, he's like a Mensa, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a degree in chemical engineering, and he got a scholarship to MIT.
Really?
He is,
what's his nationality?
He is Swedish. He's from Stockholm.
Swedish, okay. Well, I mean, yes, of course, with those blonde locks that he has. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was good.
Ivan Drago.
As shitty as that movie was, it was amazing. Amazing.
And it's surprising that they've had so hard a time to get that redone. Like, it just seems like it's such a, like they did John Carter of Mars. Like, you could have done He-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel as though there are some movie properties that make you scratch your head and wonder, like, why have they not redone this? He-Man's a good one.
Or even done Thundercats.
Thundercats. But for me, like, the one that's up there is Goonies. Like, why have they not remade Goonies? You know, and they have, like, you could totally make it like an adventure. You know, they're searching for treasure. You could tie it in so that's the kids of the kids. And they tried to do it a little bit. Like, there was that movie on Netflix, like Searching for Moana or something like that. And Data from the Goonies was actually in that movie.
Yeah.
And they kind of made it somewhat similar, but it was it was a very, very failed attempt at.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
repeating
It's
the
one of those ones where they will all come back and do it and be involved in it in some capacity, but they just have never done it.
I just don't get it.
Even if you did it where, yeah, it's all their kids or I don't know, grandkids. It depends on how old everybody is at the time they get around to it.
Like, in this day and age where nothing is original anymore, and
No,
you're
nothing
talking
is
about like
original.
movies and music and TV shows, like everything's a remake. Magnum PI, Lethal Weapon, all these TV shows, movies, music. That why have you not touched that property? And maybe it's like, maybe who knows? Maybe it has to do with like ownership, and maybe there's a clause in the ownership to say you can't remake this movie for 40 years after it's come out. Like, who knows?
Well, the only one I hope they never touch is Back to the Future, and Bob Gale basically said as long as he's alive, no one will touch it.
Yeah, that's right, because he owns the rights, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Nor should they.
No, there's no need for it.
Except for the third one. Or just, like, remove the third one from my mind altogether. I wasn't a fan of that one.
They went to the future, so they had to go to the past. So
I know, but you know what? They lost me when it was the train. Like, the train, like, just, if you're going to go to the past...
Like the part where they had to use the train to push the DeLorean, or that at the very end he makes a time machine out of the DeLorean in the 1800s.
Yes. Yes, to both.
Out of the train.
To both. To both. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm always one where, like, the first one, second one, great, but then when the third one comes and they introduce a love interest that basically separates Doc and Marty, like that kind of. As soon as you bring the girl in that fucks with the guys, no, I don't like this.
Time machines before hoes. Right?
Always.
Always.
The time machine, yeah.
Yeah, always.
Before hose.
Yeah.
Time machine.
She's a hoe, faux show.
Yes, sir.
Oliver keeps asking when he can watch The Office, and I was like, I don't know. But you will watch it at some point. I just don't know about it.
It's a rite of passage.
It is, So.
Yeah, we're trying to think of other shows that the kids could watch that's like in the same vein as Full House, but maybe not as
Home Improvement.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Great. It's we found the first season at an antique shop in Arnprior.
Yeah.
And it was coincidentally we were talking about it like a month or two leading up to it. So the fact that we found it was awesome. But it's not streaming anywhere, which is unfortunate. And if I wanted to buy it, because I think it was a show that was on for at least 7, 8, 9 years. Like, it had a good run.
Yeah, how the hell is that on Disney Plus? It was an ABC show.
It's not on Disney Plus.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and it was on ABC. It was a Disney.
Maybe they just maybe they need to spread it out and not.
Or somebody's got the rights on some platform somewhere, and they're just waiting for it to die off.
Tim Allen, but yeah, that's a good one. I want to watch Perfect Strangers again.
Yes,
because in my mind it was really good, but I don't know if it holds up.
Oh, it's fine up until I think the last 2 seasons when they get the house.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah,
it's the apartment. You gotta have the apartment. Yeah, in Chicago.
The Joy.
Cousin Larry.
Yeah, it's all about the theme song.
I see, and I don't remember the theme song.
It is so overly dramatic for what the show was.
I remember Balky in the opening theme, like walking with the donkey or something.
Yeah, and he's village. Like on a fucking wagon or something.
And but I don't remember the song at all.
They go to Wrigley Field, like anything. All good openings, you show shots of where you're from. The one you'll probably never be able to show them is Married with Children.
Yeah.
There were some repeats on MTV and Much Music last night that we were watching, and you're just like, yeah, you can't say anything like that today.
No.
Just all the fat jokes and
just
misogynistic jokes.
Yeah.
Still hilarious.
Were they censored?
No.
Okay, that's good.
It was
I
on.
mean,
It was on like 11, 12 o'clock.
yeah. It's on. It's streaming. It's on the streaming platform that I have. I can't remember which one.
Probably Amazon.
It
I
might
think
be.
is where I saw it.
Yeah, it might be. But it's yeah,
That's
you
so
definitely
good.
can't say it. You know what? Actually, you know what? Jade and I started watching. It's 6 episodes in. I think it's 11 episodes. Comes out every Sunday night at 9. It's on Crave, and it's the show Winning Time. So it's based
Okay.
off of the book Showtime, which is
Oh yeah,
about
it's a Lakers show, right?
the Lakers show. And I'm not a basketball fan at all.
I love watching the commercials and having that like vintage look to it, like the graininess. It looks
Cory,
amazing.
I'm telling you, man, it's so good. And John C. Reilly will win Emmys or Golden Globes or whatever it is. He will win it for his role as Jerry Buss for sure. But the it's a period piece, right? It's from the late 70s, 80s. But they're smart about it. Adam McKay directs it, but the way that they film it, and to your point, like it'll cut into a scene, just a random scene, 30 seconds, a minute, 10 seconds. It doesn't matter the length of the scene, but they'll just randomly change the scene to as if it were being filmed in the actual 70s. And like that grainy, cloudy, and it pulls you right into the scene, and as relevant or irrelevant it is to that episode, like it just pulls you right in and you're engaged, and then it stops and then it goes into another scene, and they'll do like 2 or 3 times an episode. But it's very captivating, and some things are obviously stretched for entertainment, we shall say, but it's amazing. Like, you know, and Jade doesn't like basketball, doesn't care about it, but the fact that we like it's now we have to watch it on Sunday nights. Like, you know, now we have to stay up till 10 on Sundays before work because of this show.
Worst.
I know.
Staying up for something. Appointment television. When will they learn?
It is appointment television though, but it's nice. Like it's nice to
have that again.
To have that, to find a show that we actually enjoy and look forward to, and not decide like, hey, we're just gonna wait till the season's over and we'll binge it then.
Yeah, like, which I was probably gonna say right now was I'll catch up when it's done.
But I guarantee if you watch the first episode, you won't. It'll just be okay. Well, let's watch the next one.
When I saw it, I thought like, hey, I might check this out because I like basketball and I like the Lakers. But it just like that's another thing I gotta commit to.
Yeah, there was apparently a huge falling out between Adam McKay and Will Ferrell on this.
Yeah, because he's a huge Laker guy and he wanted to do what the John C. Reilly role is. That's basically put an end to their professional.
What was that
relationship?
What was that website that they would do the little?
Oh yeah, they started Funny or Die.
Funny or Die. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they had a production company, Gary Sanchez. Great name for a production company.
Yeah, he's a backstop in Minnesota. He used to be a catcher for the Yankees. Gary Sanchez.
And so that's all done.
That's what's taking up our time on the TV. Yeah. I still need to go see Batman though, so we can talk about it.
You don't have to, because it's on Crave as of Monday.
Are you serious?
I was going to bring it up. I swear it got announced last week. HBO Max and the States and Crave starting on the 18th, and then on Blu-ray the 25th.
Okay, like who's gonna give a shit about Blu-ray when it comes out of the streaming beforehand?
Some people like their discs.
I just feel like that's just
such a
formality.
Some people do.
Such a formality.
People need the tangible ownership of goods.
That's amazing. I was literally gonna go like in the next couple
I
weekends.
I just saved you $15.
But is it worth it to go see it in the theater on the big screen, or is it? I feel like it's a dark movie, so it might not matter.
It's a dark, long movie. So if you want to sit and watch it big, I would say, but you're not going to lose anything.
Okay.
Like it's not like
like visual effects or anything like that. Like it's not.
No, it's not a visual. Like I said, it's dark, it's rainy, it's Gotham, it's
gritty. Yeah.
Gritty. It's raining all the time.
Okay. So next week, then we do a review of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to carve out 3 hours to watch that movie.
That's all right. I can do that. I'll just piece it over the course of the week. So I'll
There you
do
go.
an hour here.
And then yeah. So my thing this week was I rewatched Blade and Blade 2. I haven't watched those in forever.
Oh, okay. I saw the post on
That's right.
Instagram.
That's the best line I think of like any movie. Some
Amazing.
motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
So, how does it hold up?
Visually, like the visual effects, definitely in the first one, no. Like no, when Deacon Frost's arm gets cut off and it's like all bubbly blood back, like that is clearly 1990s CGI at its worst.
And before they knew they had a success on their hands.
But I like the second one. Like the second one, people don't like obviously as much as the first, but it's Guillermo. It's like it's got a
Guillermo del Toro.
He directed the second one, yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that the one with Stephen Dorff, or is that the third one?
That's the first one. First one is Stephen Dorff. Second one is with Ron Perlman. So there you go. That should tell you.
Oh, okay.
It's with the Reapers, the like new strain of like vampires that are like kind of like zombified. And so the vampires team up with Blade to take these guys out. And the third one has the Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel in her prime. Yes, I remember that one.
What's his face? Dominic Purcell's Dracula.
Is it streaming or do you own the discs?
I have the movies.
Yeah.
So I just threw them on and relived some.
What made you decide to do that? Were you thinking about Eternals and?
No, like I was just thinking. Like I watched all the Marvel movies like ad nauseum. Like let's go back to see what they did before all of this.
Yeah,
so like I might check out because that was like Marvel before Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no Spider-Man hadn't happened yet, X-Men hadn't happened yet. Like this is the first Marvel night, right?
Some would argue this is what leapfrogged them into making Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, because Spider-Man, I know they tried to do early 90s. James Cameron was doing it, right? And they were trying to get X-Men off the ground, and then they did Blade, and it took off. Also, it was the first, I think the first one that they kind of actually tried to do a full-fledged series on, too. Was Blade.
It was Blade, yeah, that would make sense.
Was it Spike TV in its heyday?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Spike TV. And they actually even, I remember that TV station, didn't they even try and have like their own wrestling?
Yeah, WWE, I think, or / WWF was there on the time. Because that was like the man channel, right? Spike TV.
That's right. Hilarious.
All male-oriented programming.
Can't have that now, though.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's, same bathrooms for everyone.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, you got to have your sports, and then you got to have your
what do they call them? Your unistalls?
I have not heard of unistalls.
I don't know. Maybe I made that up, but
coming to a public washroom near you.
Yeah, I went to a wedding where it was what do you call it? Gender neutral, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
it was very weird. I didn't feel comfortable. Yeah, because as the night was going on, people were drinking more. It was just becoming a bit more obnoxious.
Yeah.
And they're both in the same bathroom. It's like there's nothing good can come out of this. Like
no,
like nothing good. You're either anyway. This is a friendly TV or podcast, so I will refrain from what I was seeing. But
that's the later show. That's the 11.
That's the after hours show. That's right. Have you seen
Caller at Night?
Have you seen the Daredevil movie recently with Ben Affleck?
No, that's on this because I have I watched that one, but then I download. I don't just download. I bought a long time ago the director's cut of it.
That's what I have.
It's a better movie, that one.
Mm-hmm. It's a longer movie, but it's better.
It fleshes things out a little bit more.
Yep.
But no, that one's next on the list. I still not sure if I want to watch the Tim Story directed Fantastic Fours or the Ghost Riders.
Yeah.
Also, Mark Steven Johnson, who did Daredevil, did Ghost Rider.
I don't care for the Ghost Rider ones, but
That
The
second one.
Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four. Yeah, I can only imagine it's Nick Cage. I don't even remember it. I don't even think I've seen it.
I will say that you should watch, if you're gonna ever watch the second one, know that Nick Cage was quoted saying that he based his performance of Johnny Blaze in the second one on a snake.
On a snake.
Yeah, that's how he was inspired by a snake, and that's what he based his performance on.
Now I have to watch it. Now I'm gonna have to watch at least the first 10 minutes.
Because there's legit.
I'm here to save you.
He's Ghost Ridered out, and like he's just doing one of these.
But
Which is a great visual for an audio podcast.
Yeah,
do this. He's doing this.
But go to YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube. No, the Fantastic Four, the second one, Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer is what got me in the door.
100%. Like it was a good portrayal, which fell completely flat on its face as soon as we were introduced to Galactus.
The Cloud.
You know.
Yeah.
That was when Apple was like, "Oh yeah, the Cloud." I got
that's what it is. That's what we should be doing.
But yeah, like it was everything outside of Silver Surfer, though. Crap, absolute crap.
Yeah, they really leaned into the self-parody with like the sponsorships and the Fantastic Cars. Like, oh, does it have a Hemi, or it has a Hemi or something like that kind of crap. Product placement.
Yeah, and then the most recent one, I watched it. It was just terrible, though. Terrible. The one with
it looked like it was going to be terrible.
You just know, like, movies that will be doomed from the get-go. You know,
no pun intended.
That's true. New Mutants. I'm thinking, Dark Phoenix. I'm thinking the Fantastic Four movies. These movies where you're just like, this is a bad idea, and I'm not even employed in Hollywood, and I can tell you that this, like, what schmuck was like, I'm gonna produce this movie. I'm gonna drop the millions of dollars to.
Yeah, I skipped Dark Phoenix, but a part of me felt just by watching the promotion is that they basically said everything that they did with the original X-Men movies and the Dark Phoenix storyline, and people said this is wrong. Let's do something else. They said no, let's do that again, almost verbatim.
Yeah,
because the whole point, they was in the originals is. The Phoenix was like an alternate personality that was in Jean Grey, knowing damn well that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It was, a whole space cosmic thing. And then they did it again, kind of.
Yeah.
It's basically what I got from the trailers. I never get.
And then like aliens come in. It's very like I've maybe got about 45 minutes into it, and I was like, I'm bored, so I turned it off. But like what X-Men First Class did so successfully, which was to reintroduce those characters, they did a great job. And I feel like with Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse, they just tried to lean a little too far into it, and it's like these are new characters, and like I'm not going to care about the story because we have these new characters. It's like, well, no, the story counts. The story matters. Like,
I wonder because they went back to Bryan Singer with Days of Future Past, and then again in Apocalypse. If maybe
did he do Apocalypse?
Yes, they brought it back for those two, and then I think Simon. What's his name? Kinberg did the last one.
Oh, that's really he did. That's awful because he had a pretty good streak of great movies.
I think that's where they were with Apocalypse.
Except for Superman. Yeah.
I didn't mind that one as much. I know it gets shit on a lot, but I know people can say what they want about Kevin Spacey now, but I thought he was a good Lex Luthor.
He was.
And Brandon Routh did what he could with the material as Clark Kent and Superman. I think we all know he was hired because, hey, you kind of resemble Christopher Reeve. And that's basically all it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a $250 million movie that's hinging on basically a real estate scam by Lex Luthor. I'm gonna build Krypton here on Earth and sell the properties.
The problem with Superman, though, is because he is so omnipotent. Very few characters in his rogues gallery even like come close to matching his strength and his power, and I think Darkseid might be the closest one. Mentally it might be Lex Luthor. Brainiac maybe, like mentality, they don't match up to how strong he is. So you got to be careful, in my opinion, on how you tread those waters when you're making a Superman movie, because
yeah, I guess basically otherwise every single movie is going to be, and then they find kryptonite.
Yeah, well, and even in the Brandon Routh movies, like the biggest action scenes were him saving the plane. There was the one where the robbers were
one, right?
There was the one where the robbers were like shooting that gun at him, and one of the bullets like crushed in his eyes.
That was
but there was no fight, you know, and I think that's why Man of Steel did everything that they could to make up for it, almost too much. But yeah, like it was. But I loved Brandon Routh's portrayal of Superman. Like he was very stoic, and he was very like Christopher Reeve's portrayal of the character from the 70s.
Yeah,
so I did enjoy that.
It also very much was a love letter to the Dick Donner movies.
Oh, for sure, it was, with
the John Williams score.
Yeah,
and
and even like the continuation of it, right? Like, you know, where did he go for those 5 years? And like it continued the thread of those Donner movies to some degree.
I can
anyway.
Deep dive into Superman all day, and I don't even know that much about, but just the movies.
We should do that. We should do like a deep dive into the older.
Oh yeah, well, Michelle and I've been talking about. I don't know if it's gonna be like a separate podcast or just like episodes of just deep diving into one thing or another.
Yeah, that would be interesting, because you can.
Dave's trying to find topics to talk about for stuff.
Yeah,
because I can do like Steve Rogers. I could do this all day.
Nice, well played, sir. I am the one scene that I always loved the most from all the Superman movies was when he the mirror version of himself, where he, you know, was unshaven. He was flicking peanuts in the. I forget what it was that made him. Was it a different kryptonite, like a different colored kryptonite? That
I think so. This is Superman 3, right?
Yeah, I think it was the one with Richard Pryor. I forget what it was, but whatever it was, it was great.
And then what? Fourth one had that fucking. What was it?
Quest for Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man, yes.
Quest for Peace.
Yeah.
Which, see,
and John Cryer's in it. Which then ends up playing Lex Luthor and Supergirl.
Yeah, I know. But as an 8-year-old boy, I'm assuming the movie came out in 1988, so that's what I'm saying, 8.
Oh yeah, it's definitely 80s.
It was amazing for me, because it was like, oh my god, here is someone that can actually, you know, stand up and hold their own with Superman. Like, here we go. Like, this isn't going to be a computer. This isn't going to be some real estate scam. Like, this is an actual, like. So I did enjoy that. But Oliver and I watched that movie. Maybe, I don't know, a few years ago, and didn't hold up. Did not hold up. It was bad.
I was gonna say, so it didn't hold up because didn't hold up to your expectations, or no? It was just because
I should go back and watch it again. So
I also did a rewatch of the entire catalog of our good friend of the show, I like to say, Pauly Shore's movies.
Oh, Son-in-Law,
Encino Man, Son-in-Law, In the Army Now, Jury Duty, and Biodome.
Nice. Very nice. The only one I've seen recently is Encino Man, probably about a few months ago.
And truth be told, that was peak Shore.
Yeah.
And he wasn't leading, like, that wasn't the leading man either. He was co-lead with Sean Astin.
Was Son-in-Law before or after Encino Man? I want to say it was after. It was
the one right after. That's when Disney invested hard on the Weasel.
That was the peak. Yeah.
And he said it too. He said he was on Joe Rogan a few years ago in a podcast. He said, in the Army Now, he knew because he had a 3-picture deal with Disney when he was doing that. This is going to be the end. Like he knew.
Yeah.
Which unfortunate because that was quick.
I didn't even see Biodome.
That was like encompassed everything that you knew and hated about Pauly Shores in that movie, and Stephen Baldwin too.
Oh yeah, Stephen Baldwin was in that movie. That's
I also
right.
read because I like to do the trivia stuff when I watch these movies, and on IMDb it said Alec Baldwin like read the script and said to Stephen, "You do this movie, like this will be the end of your career." And he did it.
And he did it. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't care what my older brother says. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, what does Alec know?
Yeah. Mom and Dad will approve of me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he now? His daughter's married to Bieber. So that's his claim to fame.
His daughter's married. He's Justin Bieber's father-in-law?
Yeah.
Where have I been? Like, I feel I should know this, but wow.
Also, at the same time, you're kind of glad you didn't.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. But that's
that little factoid entered your brain and something else probably important left.
Yeah.
Also, like in Married Children, right? You know, when Kelly learns a fact, like this goes in and like she loses something else.
Yeah. Wasn't there one where Buddy was trying to like help her study for an exam or something like that? And I think that was it, where it was like learning something new and something was falling out.
Yeah, like she learns like algebra and then she forgets her birthday or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like the that show would be made today. Like even the portrayal of her like sexualizing a teenage girl as much as they did her.
Oh, yeah, the slut jokes in there.
Yeah.
And the going through guys. No, ma'am.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's good times though. So you gotta watch that one.
I'll have to. I would give it a go for sure. I would definitely watch it.
I think that is on Amazon Prime.
It's definitely on something because I've seen it. I was actually thinking that this weekend I'm going to watch the new Dune movie. This has basically been a movies conversation. Like this is what the episode is. This is 4 weeks. Yeah, exactly. But Dune. I think I'm going to watch Dune.
I've never seen the original.
I tried to watch the original about a month or so ago. Typical 70s sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's like when I wanted to go when we saw Tron Legacy, I'm like, I should watch Tron. And then I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, that's exactly what Dune the first one was.
And that's David Lynch, right? Directed that?
Yeah.
Which right there, like
yeah. Well, he's your boy though, isn't he?
Not Fincher, Lynch.
Oh, Fincher, that's right. That's
Twin Peaks.
Yes. So I might watch that this weekend. But I'm still like blown away about Batman being available on Monday. Is it good for 10-year-olds?
Like depends, I guess, his tolerance and stuff. Because the Riddler is, like you said, it's based on Zodiac, so it's kind of like he's gaffer taping a guy's face in the first like scene of the movie. Okay. But if he can handle some violence, maybe you guys rewatched No Way Home since it's out.
Yeah. Not so. I mean, we went to see it in the theaters.
Peter's just pummeling Goblin, right? And he's manically laughing at it.
Yeah.
Like it's slow. It's slow and dark.
No, that's the good thing about being able to watch it from home. You can pause it.
Yeah, hey Oliver, look over there and skip.
Pause it. Start acting like a man, and then
why are you crying? I know you 10. Why are you crying?
That's right. No. Disclaimer: I would definitely stop the movie, or maybe not. Just say leave the room.
Yeah, you can't handle it. That's it. Go to your room.
Can't handle the heat.
And any good dad will say, "That's it. Go to your room."
That's it. I don't even know why I'm here, dude.
Padlock the door.
That's it. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, so good.
All right. That is open caller for this week.
We'll get back on a more regular schedule. This was
season's winding down. The weather's getting nice.
Yeah.
6 waves winding down. 7th waves is in the not too distant future.
I was saying to Jade today, we were going for a walk, and I know we're winding down, but I gotta say this. At what point are we just gonna stop with the wave bullshit? And just like, are we really gonna? And I swear to God, when the third wave was going on, I was thinking this like, oh great, we're gonna get to a point where it's gonna be like, and the 24th wave is hitting its peak, and it's like, just stop. Like,
it's like when you're in the ocean, the waves come in, they don't stop, they just keep coming.
no, yeah,
and you just have to plow through it to get out there.
And are we the only country that's referring to these waves in a numerical system? Like, I don't think
like if you watch like a CNN or ABC News or something, they'll just say, yeah, there's an uptick or increase in cases. We're not talking waves. We're not talking
tell you
shut her down again.
24th wave.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That might be at the conclusion of phase 4 of the MCU.
Yeah.
Or 5. But wait, what phase are we in?
That was my like conspiracy theories. You notice that after Endgame they jumped 5 years, but then they kind of stopped releasing movies for 2 years. So eventually, like, we're gonna catch up to where the MCU is.
We totally will. We're gonna get to a point where if you unpack that whole 5-year jump, some things just don't make sense. Like if you think about like Peter, being
his movies don't make sense because they kind of like had to retcon it because at the start of Homecoming, I think it's has like the attack on New York, and then it says 8 years, but it's actually only 6 years.
That's
storyline
right.
wise.
Yeah. So you can start poking holes if you really wanted to, but that's not it. That's just go and have fun and enjoy the movie.
Yeah, like Infinity War was 2018.
My
5
God.
years, put it at 2023, and that's next year.
Crazy.
And we're still doing stuff that takes place before
Endgame.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
And a couple stuff after, so we're catching up. Go figure.
Just like this podcast, we're going to catch up on all those weeks missed.
Yep. What else happened? That'll be what happened like the 2 weeks after.
That's the new subtitle to the show. What else happened?
Yeah. Open collar. What else happened?
Open collar. What else happened? I still don't have a catchy out. So
I had all this time off.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something on the fly and I can't. So any listeners out there, give me some suggestions.
Be like James Rhodes next time, baby.
Maybe I'll use that one. Next time, baby.
Until next time, baby. And we're out.
We are out.